Hi everyone, welcome to Pandemic Cooking. My name is Adele. I'm doing a tomato soup at home today. This is like basically, I'll turn that off. This is basically like the best setup I can do at home. I'm filming on my iPhone. I have my daughter Davy with me, so she's gonna help me make this tomato soup, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And pasta.
And pasta, because girlfriend likes pasta only. Okay, so what I wanted to do today is I wanted to show you how to start a soup from scratch. So today I'm doing cream of tomato, but you could basically take what I'm doing today and put in any vegetable you like.
I don't know how to clean up.
Here, come on, sit like that.
Thank you, Mom.
You're welcome. So instead of doing tomato, you could throw in broccoli, you could throw in cauliflower, you could throw in butternut squash. So there's lots of different things that you can do.
It will be yucky.
No, it won't be yucky. If you want to make something that's vegan or plant-based, instead of using butter, you could use olive oil. And instead of using whipping cream, you could use coconut cream.
Or floury.
Floury? What's floury? Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn
really yummy. You put flowers in it.
Oh, yes. There are some flowers you can eat. Do you know that? Yeah, we're not adding any flowers to our tomato soup today, but it will still be good, right? This is one thing that I like making because my son loves it. My son's not a great eater, but he loves soup. He loves cream and tomato. He loves, shout out to my former day home gals.
And always do that.
Their cream corn. So I'm gonna add a blob of butter, probably about a third of a cup there. Don't be shy. If you're adding olive oil, give a good pour to the bottom of your pan. I'm gonna get this melting while I'm chopping up my onion. Yes, darling? You want your tigers there? We got our own tiger queen happening right here.
Yeah.
Right? She loves tigers even before this was all popular. Okay, so sorry, this is not like the safest, best situation, but this is the best like camera angle I had. So I'm gonna chop up one, yes, darling, onion. If your knife could be sharper than mine, that would be great. And I'm going to use the...
A tiger was...
What?
A tiger's.
Yeah, I'm gonna use an immersion blender, which is actually one of my favorite tools for making soup. I don't put it in the blender because...
We don't have enough room.
Oh, I know, honey. This is the best we can do. The reason why I don't like using the blender is because I find that the heat of the soup is just like so messy. Okay, I'm gonna throw the onions in, and then the heat creates a vacuum. I can't be bothered. So I like the immersion blender that I can pop the bottom of it into the dishwasher after. Okay, so I'm just gonna do a rough chop to my onions. This is not a huge deal because we are going to be blending it, okay? Right, Davy girl, will you help me blend it when the time comes? I'm gonna turn the heat up a little bit. I've got it on a medium-low right now just to get those onions sauteing and get a really beautiful like smell going in the house. Okay, this will be better. It's fine, we want to be inclusive of the children. Okay. If I were better at this, I would have the garlic ready, but I don't. Okay. Whoop. So now we're gonna add a couple cloves of garlic. Now, if you're doing another soup, like a broccoli or a butternut squash, a lot of soups start with what's called mirepoix, which is your 3 aromatic vegetables, your onions, carrots, celery. You could do the celery for this one. I probably wouldn't do the carrots. But if you were doing a cream of broccoli or the butternut squash, I would add the mirepoix. But we're just going to keep it really tomato-y today. Smash my garlic, get that peel off. Hopefully better than the fettuccine alfredo video. Davy, do you like tomato soup?
I do.
Yeah? What's your favorite kind of soup?
It's mushroom soup.
Mushroom? When did you have mushroom soup? We don't make that because your brother doesn't love mushrooms. But I'll bet you if we made soup, he wouldn't know the difference. He's kind of like Uncle Katz, hey? Uncle Katz does not like mushrooms, but he loves a mushroom soup. Okay, my garlic, a nice rough chop as well. These are the only things that I'm going to be cutting. Okay, so I'm going to move my cutting board and my knife just because I don't want... We don't need to be running to get some stitches today. Right, Davy? Okay. So you can hear that sauteing. I'm just gonna give it a shake. I'm gonna grab my wooden spoon. I've got that really nice amount of butter. I will move the camera and show you, but it's I will learn some better editing skills in this pandemic, maybe,
I don't
okay?
sleep.
So I'm gonna grab a wooden spoon and I'm gonna get, sorry I lied, I'm gonna grab a plastic spoon. And I am going to get everything ready to go over here. So I'm just gonna bring you, we'll say hi to Davey. Just gonna bring you to see my onions sauteing right there. They're softening up. You wanna cook them until they're transparent. Can I put that there? Is that okay? And that way I can like show you what I'm doing. Okay, so the only spices that I'm going to be using in this recipe are salt, pepper, aside from garlic and onion. Salt, well, onion, those aren't spices, but they add a lot of flavor. Salt, pepper, and thyme. I really like using fresh, or we don't have fresh thyme, we have ground thyme. I really like using thyme in tomato soup. It just tastes really beautiful to me. If you want a different flavor, I know that lots of people add curry. So you can add like a curry powder and have like a tomato curry soup. Thank you, darling. There's our little tiger queen right here. Right, Dave? Here, let's put it this way so people can see Davey. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a splash of white cooking wine, okay? I love cooking with white or red wine. I don't know, it just, for me, it just gets everything, it gets those flavors really enhanced. I love it. And the rule of thumb is that when you are cooking with wine, you add white to white, red to red, okay? So if you're making like a tomato beef sauce or something like that, thank you, Davey. Let's just put this one here, okay? Or you're gonna add the red. If you're making something with mushrooms, onions, cream, you're gonna add the white. So because we're using, I know that I just contradicted that. So I could have added the red, but I don't want my onions to get purple, okay? And I just like the flavor of white wine with tomatoes, like tomato soup a little bit better.
See guys, my tires are like.
What are your tires' names?
This is
Do you have names for your tigers, my bear?
Mm-hmm.
What are they?
And Cutie, this one's a cutie.
That one is Cutie. Do we have another one?
We do.
We do? Okay.
We got lots.
We have lots. I know, Bear. Okay, so now I'm gonna add the dried thyme. I'm gonna add about a teaspoon of it. And then for me, that gets to smell like, smelling super delish.
This one named Daddy Pig.
What?
This one named Daddy.
That's the mommy and daddy? Okay. So the reason why I wanted to show you the tomato soup in particular, because a lot of these ingredients, please give it a stir. A lot of these ingredients that you're going to have on hand.
This is.
You want to show the onions? This is what they're looking like.
Yeah.
They're looking a little bit clearer. I've got some good chunks of garlic in there, but I want to soften them up really nicely because I'm going to be adding, or I'm going to be blending them. So I want them to be nice and soft. Okay. Just so you know, I'm serving you pandemic realness today with my hair and makeup. I did shower, but that's the extent of what's happened. Okay, the reason I want to show you this, because these are items that you probably have in your pantry. I'm going to use a can of diced stewed tomatoes. I use the No Name brand. I'm going to give a shout out to Superstore right now in their yellow label. They're my favorite for diced tomatoes, tomato sauce, and they're by far the cheapest. And I'm going to add a can of tomato paste because I find that it really gives, it really enhances the flavor of the soup. Okay, so should we do a product, what's it called? Oh my God. You know, when you go over it, when you talk about it. Okay, can openers. I have in my life used 10,000 can openers because of teaching foods. I've tried the Tupperware one for $40. I've tried like the $3 ones from the dollar store. This is the best one in my opinion. It's Starfruit. You get it from Canadian Tire or Walmart. It has withstood the... Oh, I haven't made you a mask yet. I will though, after lunch, okay? This has stood the test of time in my foods classroom, okay? But the difference is, and I cannot believe how many people don't know how to open a can. When I'm teaching foods, people are like, how do I do this? Okay, this one, instead of on the side, she goes on top. What's the matter, buddy?
And I got a special ring right here.
You got a special ring? What's on your ring?
A heart.
Oh my goodness. Which dolly did that come with? Do you remember? Belle, yes. Before everything shut down, we had a really amazing time at the Disney store. And she got a Belle doll. She came with a ring. Marshall is whining because I was making a couple of pandemic masks today. And he would like one. Okay, I'm gonna add the whole can of tomatoes. I'm gonna keep that there because I'm gonna put a bit of water in that and you'll see in a hot second.
Okay.
Marshall, please stop yelling at me. Someone else deal with
I'm
this.
just trying.
Okay, give it a twist. Yeah, there you go. Oh, pop! It's all done. Good job. So good at this.
Oh, yeah.
You told me. Now, again, if you wanted to make this vegetarian or plant-based, instead of the butter, you can use an olive oil. And then instead of the chicken broth, you're going to use a vegetarian broth. So I'm going to add, I've got the tomato sauce or tomatoes and the tomato paste in here. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some chicken stock. And again, if you have vegetarian stock, that'll be just fine. I like the Better Than Bouillon. You get it from Costco. I use it actually quite a bit in my cooking.
I would taste
so it doesn't taste very good, honey. So this one comes in a paste. I'm going to add about a tablespoon of it. And then I'm going to add about 3 cups of water. I don't want to add too much water because I don't want my soup to be too runny.
Sorry.
Now, if you wanted to make it thicker, what you could do is you could add like a 1/4 cup of flour while you're sauteing the onion. So whatever soup that you're making, you can go ahead and do that. Just add a bit of flour.
We can't say bad words.
Who's saying bad words?
Nobody.
That's right. We're not saying bad words.
No, else we can't make it.
Nope, definitely not. What was I saying? This is the hard part about making videos with them. I get sidetracked real easily. Oh, so you could add the flour, and if you didn't want to use heavy cream, then you could add milk. Okay. The heavy cream is going to thicken a little bit, so it's going to be our cream of. But if you wanted to reduce the fat content in your soup, you could go ahead and add some flour, and then you could add. You could add some milk. Okay. Oh, do you hear? I remember my mom used to say, "You girls are so demanding," and I never used to know what that meant until now. Marshall, I'm not going to make you pants right now. Okay, so at home, I want you to let this simmer for about 10 minutes, but I'm going to blend it right now with you, and I'm going to finish it up so you can see the video like from start to finish. So this is what my mixture is looking like right now. So this is what my soup is looking like. The onions are floating there. I've got the chunks of tomatoes. I've got a really nice vibrant red color from the tomato paste. So I'm going to use my immersion blender now. So if you don't have an immersion blender, I recommend getting one. They go on sale at Canadian Tire all the time. I would get the Cuisinart one or the KitchenAid one. They go on sale for about 30 bucks and they come in like lots of cute little colors. Okay. So all I'm going to do is you have to make sure that I'm going to tuck this in my armpit so I don't burn it because that's my luck. Okay, so you have to make sure that it's fully submersed, and I start just kind of pulsing it, and I'll show you what it looks like after. I give it a few pulses. I move it around. If you did not want to add any milk products at all, you can just stop here and have, once it's creamed, that could be your cream or your it's going to be more of like it's not going to be a cream of tomato, it's going to be more of like just a vegetable soup. What I sometimes do is tip the pot so it gets a little bit deeper. This is one of my tricks at school because we are not making a huge amount, right? So we have to make reduced amounts at school. So just tip the pot if you don't have enough liquid to bring it all to one side. Now I've got this sucker on high. All the onions kind of like suction towards it. And I'm also okay leaving some chunks of onion in it or vegetables or whatever you're making. Just so that it's not like, so people can have an idea of what they're eating. If you were making something with harder vegetables in the mirepoix, like your carrots, or your butternut squash or something like that, you're gonna need to give it that time on the stove to cook because you're gonna get a better puree. You're gonna get a better puree once they've cooked a bit, okay? Okay, I'm happy with that. I'm like, good enough, and then I find like big hunks of tomato in my soup. Okay, so now I'm going to take my heavy cream, here, this is what my soup is looking like. I'm going to add about a cup of heavy cream, maybe a cup and a half. I'm going to give it a stir. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to let it simmer. Okay? So because I've added the cream right to the tomatoes, I'm not going to get a super thick soup. This is not going to get much thicker than this. But if you've gone ahead and added some flour, you can expect a little bit of a thicker soup. But that's it. That took me 15 minutes to make a homemade soup from scratch with basic ingredients that I have in my home. If you don't have a Better Than Bouillon, just use the powdered bouillon powder or the Tetra Pak stuff. I never buy the Tetra Paks. This is just way easier to store in my home. That's it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to serve this with, I'm going to serve it with some realness. Just kidding. I'm going to serve it probably with goldfish crackers for the kids, some pieces of cheese, a side of vegetables, and then you have like a beautiful homemade lunch. So hopefully you enjoyed, and let me know if you make the soup. Okay, I'll try. I didn't really use a recipe, so just like take notes. Okay, I should have said that at the beginning. Sorry. Okay, have a super, super great weekend, everyone. We'll see you later this week. Bye.